Good morning. This is Dr. Mark Cooper again. I'm a psychologist at Pain Medicine Associates here in Johnson City, Tennessee. And I've got a doctorate in not just psychology, but another doctorate in natural health. And I've been working on alternative strategies for pain management for many years. And I've made several videos out on the Acupuncture XL2 device, this one, to help with myofascial pain syndromes, and specifically trigger points, because this helps resolve or break up some of the trigger points when injection therapies are not available or too expensive for people, or can't be done on a regular enough basis to make a big difference. In fact, the insurances are now restricting how many times we can do this to just maybe once every 3 months, and that's sometimes just not enough to break them all up. And this can break up a lot of the superficial ones where you still may need trigger points on the deeper levels. But some questions have come up from time to time about how to do it and how the settings on this. I usually put the setting here on the positive when I'm going to use it for people, or teach them how to use it, which is what I primarily do. And then the sensor one here, which is this one here, I usually put it all the way up. Let's see, it's the other way around. There you go, all the way up to 10, because that just is a sensor to help pick up where there's more resistance in the tissue, and that's where most of the trigger points are likely to go. So you'll hear that high beeping sound. Hear it? Where it goes up a little higher. See, that's where there's more resistance. You're going to get that on top of bone, but if you're on top of soft tissue and you can feel it, you can hear that sound go up a little bit higher, and that's when you know when there's most likely to be a trigger point there. And then the patient's going to tell you, of course. In terms of the this dial here is one basically how fast that works. So I typically set it about, it's 3/4 up, okay, about 3/4 up on that. Seems to be where most people feel the best, but it also is patient related. In other words, some people like it faster, some people like it a little bit slower, kind of like a drill on a dentist drill. I like it set about right where I've got it there. Okay, all right. In terms of the in terms of the power, which is this one, there's some general guidelines that I like to use. If the person is real heavy and got a lot of adipose tissue, which is fat tissue, you know, you're going to have it turned up a lot higher, maybe all the way up to the 10 level, okay? Because it's got to get that electric down into the muscle, because the trigger points are not going to be the adipose tissue. So usually, so if you got a heavy set person, or if the area of the body that you're doing is that area has a lot of fat tissue on the surface, then you're going to need to turn it up a little higher. If it's not, if it's a real thin person with trigger points, then you can get to them really easy, then you might be able to bring it down a little bit, okay? The other, so being heavy or thin makes a difference to me of how I've used this or show people how to do it. And another variable is where in the body you're using this. Most in the tolerance of the person in the first place. Some people just can't take, you know, it works best if it's highest, but they just can't take it. So you kind of cut it down to where they're tolerable. The other thing is that if you're up in the back of the neck area in here, close to this area, up in here, and you're working on headaches, for example, especially on occipital headaches, which are right at the base of the skull here and down from this area, those are pretty painful areas. So I typically am going to cut this down to the lower level when I'm doing those, and again, see how the patient tolerates it, or how the person themselves tolerate it. I typically don't do too much around this area with it. You can, but if you're going to get into the facial region or these trigger points in the temporalis muscles, around this area here, then just for safety reasons, I'm going to cut it way down. Okay, so I hope that helps in terms of explaining maybe some of the specifics, a little bit more of the specifics, how you might be able to use this device. I found it very helpful anyway, and thank you for listening. Hope this is beneficial to you. This is Dr. Mark Cooper, and I'll see you another time.